All right. Hi everyone. As soon as we started screaming, as soon as we started streaming, my power returned, was restored. Okay. Hi everyone. Operator Starsky in the chat. As always, very nice to see you. And we have a lot of news, a lot of events that happened today. So, first of all, traditionally, let's check out the report of the General Staff of Ukraine real quick. And according to their report, in the past 24 hours, Ruski terrorists lost almost 1,000 men dead. As a result of escalation near Bakhmut and Avdiivka, let's jump into the map, because I noticed that usually we're talking about different locations, but I never show you where it is actually. Okay. So here we have this beautiful city of Bakhmut, and it is beautiful, trust me. I mean, it was, for as long as I remember myself. So currently we can see Solidar here. Solidar situation here looks like this. Ukrainian armed forces moved out in order to save our personnel, and it was reported by our Ministry of Defense and the General Staff as well. It was expected, of course. Russians lost almost 20,000 people there. Orcs, pardon. Almost 20,000 orcs during these couple of months of attempting to attack this city. And currently there is some very, very active attack in the area of Bakhmut right here. Oh my god. And to the south of this location, almost near Donetsk, here you can see Donetsk airport, which was a heroic page in the history of the armed forces of Ukraine. It's a totally different story. Who knows? Knows. Currently, this is Avdiivka. Our troops keep their defense in this location, and another Russian attack was performed today. It was deflected. As a result of that, Russians lost quite a lot of people and vehicles and other things. Among them were 23 armored fighting vehicles, 23 vehicles and fuel tanks, 9 tanks, 6 artillery systems, 5 UAVs, 2 multiple rocket launch systems, and 1 Su-25, I believe. Again, small announcement. We are streaming from Ukraine using Starlink. That's why lags are traditionally expected on this channel. Don't be surprised if I freeze for a second or two. And moving on to the main news of today, Germany this morning announced that they will send 14 Leopard tanks to Ukraine. And it started like a domino effect, So just a couple hours ago, the US, the president of the US, Mr. Biden, announced that they will send 31 Abrams tanks to Ukraine. And I think it's just the first shipment. Of course, those are very, very advanced tanks. In the previous stream, we talked that the reason why they weren't sending the Abrams tanks to Ukraine was because, they require, bringing like whole infrastructure with those. But from what I know about the U.S. Army and American government in general, is that they will not send you items unless they are sure that there will be that it will be efficient, right? That there will be means to maintain that equipment that they want to send, that logistics are in place and things like that. So Ukraine will be sent a huge amount of tanks. Here, for example, we can see all the countries that can deliver Western tanks to Ukraine, and if your country is among them, you have my big respect. Those are great news, and it will help us a lot, as you all understand. Of course, big thanks to those countries that showed initiative regarding this. Big thanks to everybody who put their effort into making this possible. You are my heroes. Okay, and I already hear the supporters of the Russian terrorism screaming, like, why do you keep fueling this war, sending weapons and stuff to Ukraine? Can't they just die? Can't Ukrainians just stop fighting and die? It would be easier for all of us. And my advice to those people is to learn this phrase in Ukrainian. Вибачте, будь ласка, я довбойоб. Which means, I'm very sorry, I'm a very stupid person. And they will need this phrase very, very soon in the future, after Russians are defeated, after this war is finished. They will need this phrase to talk to civilized people in general, because internet doesn't forget anything, right? So another great news of today, guys, and this one is very, very important. I'm not sure if you noticed it, but today European Court of Human Rights recognized that Russia occupied and controlled Donbass since 11th of May 2014. Actually, it happened a bit earlier, but anyways, it's already a big achievement for us in terms of international diplomacy, and in terms of all the future cases that we will have against Russian terrorists, against Russian war criminals, and things like that. So we are trying to prove that actually Russians were controlling Donbass, those occupied territories of Donbass, since April 2014. Again, it's important because all of those, let's call them not provocators, but basically occupiers, right? Invaders. Like Hirkin, citizen of Russia, like Arseny Pavlov, citizen of Russia, and many, many other Russian spies and militaries, they all arrived to Ukraine in April, and they started those mass protests, and they started taking control over police stations and things like that. So we are trying to prove that it already happened in April, but anyways, European Court of Human Rights recognized that this happened in May, and the main thing is that they recognized that it happened, that it's a fact that nobody can deny. All kinds of Russian representatives tried to object. They tried to say tons of BS, but the court wasn't convinced, and of course they rejected all the attempts of Russians that tried to convince that no, those were people of Donbass, those were separatists who had revolution and stuff like that. All that BS was rejected, and yes, and the truth was recognized, which is great. Again, I can hear supporters of the Russian terrorism screaming why they don't recognize all the victims of Ukrainian Nazi who bombed Donbass for 8 years. And the answer is very simple. Serious institutions only investigate things that actually happened in real life. That's why they will never recognize all that BS that Russians are trying to use as their justification for attacking Ukraine. One interesting fact, guys. On 18th of February 2022, the air alert sounded in Donbass, specifically in the Donetsk city. And I'm sure that you all saw those videos, that those screaming sirens and things like that, columns of cars, and the panic was perfect for making a great picture of for the Russian propagandists. Question is, if Donetsk was bombed and shelled for 8 years straight, how many times did the siren sound in Donetsk between 2014 and 2021? And the answer is pretty much the same as the amount of IQ each Russian terrorism supporter has. Because, it's a fun fact. You will not find any proof showing that the sirens were sounding in Donetsk for 8 years. It never happened. And I doubt that they even sounded once before 2022. Because it didn't happen. So we all know it. Court of the Human Rights also knows it. Russians know it. Followers of pro-Russian bloggers and flat earthers don't know it. This can ruin their, comfortable cartoon they're living in. Finlandia vodka. Yeah, Level 70 says Donetsk is the most intact city in Ukraine. Actually, it's true because, when Ukrainian armed forces started striking Russian troops that started moving into Donetsk, people living in Donetsk were surprised. They were like, oh my god, so this is how the real shelling looks like. There's like hundreds of interviews out there made after this full-scale invasion where those people are shocked. Because they Now they see how it looks like. But sorry, it was your choice. Oh my god. Some personal updates, guys. It's very, very important because this continues again and again. I'm disappeared. Wrong button. Sorry about that. So here is my browser, and here is how the fake account of the operator Starsky on Instagram is shown on my mobile phone, specifically how it was shown before he banned me. So the thing is, there's quite a few scammers out there impersonating my account, and this one is the most popular one because he is on Instagram. He has something like 400 something followers. Please tell this to all your friends. I'm never messaging people asking for donations. Okay? I never do that. And also the address of my every page in the social media is Starsky UA, one word. And here, for example, you can see that this bastard in his... Oh my god. How does it work? Here in his info, he wrote Starsky UA, but his real account name is this one, which is not Starsky UA. This, for example, is my personal account on Instagram. This in the top is the address, the same that I have on every page in every social media, on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. That's all, pretty much. Why it's important is because this individual is messaging people and collects money. Basically, he scams people for money. And it's important to know that I never do that. I will never message you asking for donations because I don't do that. And if I do, ask me to send you a voice message, please, to make sure that it's me. Okay, so if you receive a message from operator Starsky saying like anything, okay, it can be any message, please ask for a voice message. It's very important. And in most cases, in most cases, I will do that even without you asking. Level 70 asks, can he be banned? So he was reported multiple times. And David Paul here, hi buddy. He was reported multiple times. He is still active. He still sends messages. I also reported his PayPal because he sends his PayPal in the private messages. And this PayPal has nothing to do with me or operator Starsky or whatever. And I reported it to PayPal support service. I hope that they will react. Yeah, guys, always ask me about voice messages, okay? Because it's easier than typing, and I will always send you voice messages or pictures, anything, not the nudes yet. Okay, and some more positive news. No, wait a second. Okay, here we have information that right this moment there are 3 Russian strategic bombers in the air. plus missile carriers that were spotted in the Black Sea, and approximately 30 or 40 hours ago, Iranian kamikaze drones were launched from the territory of Russia, heading towards Ukraine. There are 3 groups of those kamikaze drones. Hopefully they will all be intercepted. And it's highly possible that after this drone strike, we can expect another massive missile strike on Ukrainian cities. Today we had 3 air alerts in Ukraine. I think some other regions except Kiev had more, maybe like 4. Here in Kiev and area around Kiev, I remember 3 alerts as of today. So we expect a missile strike tonight. And let's jump to some more positive news, okay? This girl is Albina Kulakova, and she's a schoolgirl, and she collected 70,000 Ukrainian hryvnias for the armed forces of Ukraine. She passed them to Serhiy Pritula. He is one of our most famous, how you call those people? He has one of the most famous charity funds in Ukraine, and he's the guy who bought a satellite for Ukrainian army. So she does dancing, and she danced on the street in Ivano-Frankivsk. It's a city west Ukraine, and all the money that she collected, she gave to the armed forces of Ukraine, which is amazing, because it's 70,000 hryvnias today is approximately $2,000. It's a big money for a schoolgirl, right? So I'm proud that we have such children in Ukraine, such conscious and dedicated people. All right, so I made it in 25 minutes, and I didn't even finish smoking because I was called by our chiefs, and and I received some new tasks. All right, how's Fudge? Fudge is fine. So yesterday he was overly happy for some reason. Tonight he's overly sleepy. I don't know how it works in dogs, but he's like sleeping all the day. Our Patriots deployed already. Unfortunately, I still don't have information on that. I think that our personnel is still training to operate those anti-air complexes. Polycountaz, evening greetings from Lithuania. How happy terror Russians are about new tanks for Ukraine. Let me show you, actually, because I can. Let me first download this video. I prepared it specifically for you guys. Oh, yeah, I have it here. And I have it with subtitles this time. Okay, I hope that you can see this individual. So a couple words about him. This is his name is Solovyov, and he is one of the top Russian propagandists of all times, who sincerely hates Ukraine and West. even despite the fact that he had a villa in Italy that he lost after the beginning of this invasion. He lost it due to sanctions, things like that. So let's see what he says. And he's like, I think it's time to send a clear, resolute message that we consider Germany a party to the conflict, and that German tanks appearing in Ukraine will definitely lead us to considering German territory, military bases, and other sites to be legitimate targets. NATO wants to fight in this cunning way, pretending that it's not fighting. In your dreams. And Pistorius will go down in history as a cretin who led to Germany ending up as a zone of devastation, and Scholz too, and Baerbock, and the German people will know which new Nazi leaders they raised and brought to power. That's my subjective opinion. Where's the aggressor? For 8 years you bastard have nurtured the Nazi Ukrainian regime. For 8 years you've been killing the people of Donbass. For 8 years you've been lying through the mouth of your Mutter Merkel. For 8 years you've been lying. You didn't see the tragedy of Donbass, but what are you posing as now? You European Pharisees, you Nazi scumbags. And this is basically that is the average reaction of majority of Russians to those news. I personally enjoy it because I always enjoy when their butts are on fire. Starsky, do you think the new McDonald's meal will be a big seller in Ukraine? If so, I'll talk to Ronald and make it happen. From Milton Bradley, voice of the mummy. New McDonald's meal. The big tank. Oh yeah, I think that one will be definitely popular in Ukraine. Oh no, I missed the... Velvet Magneta says, what the living F is Solovyov talking about? Well, what he said was really clear to Russians because this is the parallel reality they live in. And it could be very strange to you. It could sound very strange to you because you live in a normal world, right? To Russians, this is reality. This is the world they consider the real life. That's why sometimes I need vodka. Unfortunately, I cannot drink, but I really need it when I see those. Marsh Ferguson, hey, love from Canada. Much love to Canada. All right. Do we have any more questions? Martin Machete, I only enjoy it when you do Russian accent. I wish I could enjoy it too, my friend, because sometimes I can see dreams with this accent. It's bad. Are the tanks really going to make that much for that big of a difference? From Patrick Taylor, yes, they will, and the reason for that is that the amount of tank that will be brought to Ukraine is enough to arm two brigades at least. And considering that our brigades are much more professional than Russians and much more effective currently in terms of defensive operations, but they were also trained for offensive operations. Having tanks as our main firepower during offensive operations is crucial. Yeah, we cannot... we can use armored vehicles instead of tanks, but it's not that efficient if we have tanks. Tanks is like from the infantryman's standpoint, okay, when you see tank, it's like this. It's very hard to destroy. It's very scary, and you have this feeling that this tank can see everybody, which in most cases he can. And yeah, it's good when there's a tank nearby, and it's good when it's yours. Plus, if I'm able to make a review of an Abrams tank, that would be super awesome. That's one of my dreams. Mr. Ottesen said, "Oh no, my God, I'm so sorry. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Are you still mimicking different languages to fool the Russians?" We don't even have to mimic other languages because there's so many languages right now in on Ukrainian radio. A tank will wreck your day. Every infantryman for the last 105 years. Exactly. I can say I heard a retired US general say 2-3 months for the Leopards and 7-8 months before we will see Abrams on the actual battlefield. Does that sound accurate? I don't know how much time it takes to train the personnel. We all know that Ukrainians learn very, very fast because we don't have much time. And yeah, sometimes it's enough to watch a couple of YouTube videos and start using some sophisticated artillery system. That's what we do since day one. We were sharing different YouTube videos on javelins, on NLAWs, and other stuff. So I think we can learn much faster, but we should not sacrifice efficiency of those trainings. And yeah, for some reason I think that 31 Abrams, it will be just the first shipment. There will be more, I'm sure. Martin asks, how will the Bradleys be distributed among the Ukrainian armed forces? Will they be spread out along the front or just used for some specific operations? They will be delivered to specific units. That's all I can tell you right now. Have your troops left Solidar? After Solidar mainly stopped existing as a city and turned into ruins, they had to move out, and they still have artillery and firing control over Solidar, basically. Russian troops are there. They're dying there a lot, but they stopped attacking. Currently, on the operational level, taking Solidar didn't change anything because our positions are just outside the city still, and the Russians are not trying to take them. Today they had more, let's say, offensive actions in the area of Bakhmut, and that's where they lost a lot of people today. Manu asks, how is the situation in Bakhmut? So there's a lot of combat right now. Nobody is gonna give up the city. Our troops can still hold it and do it well. and basically nothing changed much. They try to attack. They use, I would say, rather professional personnel. They are paratroopers. We see shift in their tactics. We see that they don't use those Wagnerites much. They prefer using more trained personnel. I think it happened after, Gerasimov was changed instead of, assigned instead of Surovikin, because they were highly inefficient, and stupid Surovikin almost spent all of the missile storage, strategic missile storage of Russia, without any proper effect. Okay. And after that, Gerasimov decided to use his trained personnel, his paratroopers, and all those Spetsnaz ninjas and stuff like that. But our guys are prepared. They have very, very strong defense in Bakhmut. Just Dustin, has there been any more talk of NATO F-16s for Ukraine? Just a lot of rumors. I love rumors, but nothing that I can confirm or disconfirm. That would be great if we had F-16s here. Again, we gotta have a lot of people who know how to maintain those F-16s, and they are, of course, much more sophisticated than Abrams tanks or Leopards, of course. But I hope that at some point they will be here. I hope I will be flying one. I hope that 10,000 hours in Microsoft Flight Simulators count as experience. Are the orcs getting any better, or are they just an unorganized mob wandering around? From Roger. So they are not really a mob, but still their quality is much, much lower than it was previously, because almost a year ago, a professional army invaded Ukraine. And we're talking about contract soldiers, elite soldiers. We're talking about a bunch of conscripts, of course. There were those conscripts, but still they were, let's say, yeah, I take my words back. They weren't good soldiers anyways, but the attacking force consisted mainly of professional soldiers with experience and training and, let's say, some equipment, right? Modern tanks that they don't have now. And a year later, it turned out that this big amount of trained professional people, even though they sucked in the beginning and still, but turned out that they were all either eliminated or wounded, because the number of eliminated Russian terrorists, according to our General Staff of Ukraine, is more than 120,000 men. The number of wounded personnel is probably 2 or 3 times more. And currently they are recruiting people who have even less experience. They have even less motivation. They people that are mobilized, and yeah, there are people who want to fight, but they don't like the environment they're fighting in. And there's another thing. So Russians believe that, and I was impressed actually because I heard this basically from an interviewed Russian. So Russians believe that Ukraine is like a vacation. Going to Ukraine is very easy. It's like a vacation. Everything you see on internet, all those hordes of dying orcs and stuff, all of those are Ukrainians, of course. And things like that. Everything is staged. Everybody lies. War in Ukraine is like a vacation. I will just go there and I will guard some storage, things like that, and have a lot of money. They were also lied that 93 or 97%. I think Surovikin said that. Probably, yeah. Or was it Surkov? God, I'm so old. Anyways, it was said that either 93 or 97% of Russians returned back alive from this war. And they believe this. And Russians who arrived to war expecting like a vacation in Ukraine, they get surprised, so to say. Yogi asks which crucial decisions. Leopard tanks for Ukraine, that will be delivered from Germany and other countries. 31 Abrams tanks from the US. Court for the Human Rights recognized that Russia occupied Ukraine since 11th of May 2014. Hello from Romania, meow. And meow back to Romania. Any leaks from the visit of CIA director to Ukraine? Not really, unfortunately. It's a completely different level of access. Okay, Donna, how can they just be mindless? It's their media, basically. This is how propaganda works. Like what you see on Russian TV is mostly today 15 millions of Ukrainians were eliminated. 50 HIMARS systems were destroyed by our private soldier who shot them using a handgun. And our brave Kadyrovites took 5 cities of Ukraine. And that's what they believe. I mean, oh my God. In May, last year, 9th of May, Victory Day in Russia, they were showing that picture. I think I showed it in one of my streams. They were showing that picture, that map of Ukraine with, directions of attack and stuff like that. And they were showing Russian forces fighting near Lviv, which is the west of Ukraine. It's let me show it to you. So this is Ukraine, and they were showing that their troops were here, actually. Of course, they were fighting like around Zhytomyr, Bila Tserkva and stuff, and let's say all this territory, was kind of captured by Russians, and they were fighting near, like, other cities, including Lviv, which is, oh my god, it's on the West Ukraine. So they were showing that picture on a TV, and Russians believed this because this is the way they were taught. They were taught that, yeah, Russian media always say true. There's a lot of things they believe. Again, mutant birds and mosquitoes, dirty bombs. Guys, to you, this like insane crap sounds like, yeah, like insanity, right? To them, it's like reality. It's the same as North Korea. Exactly. It's like when on the North Korean TV they say that North Korean astronauts landed on the surface of the sun for the first time in history. Of course, they didn't burn because it was night, it was dark, but they planted the flag, and they proclaimed the name of our great leader. It's completely the same. Attack pigeons, attack ducks and geese. They were saying that geese were attacking like jet fighters, something like that. Is there still a big need for generators in Ukraine? It depends, because I know that a lot of generators were brought to like enterprises and factories and businesses. I know that a lot of, let's say, critical objects like shelters and stuff, there are generators. They were all supplied by generators. I don't really know current situation. I need coffee. I'm still trying to figure how you milk chickens. I would like to know that as well. For civilians, generators are needed for sure. Yes, Martin, I agree with you, because there's still a lot of families that don't have generators. My neighbors don't have one, but they have a stove, and they can use firewood to keep warm. I don't have a fireplace or a stove, but I have a generator. You can only milk roosters. Technically, yeah. I didn't try, and I wouldn't, but I think it's possible. Do you troll orcs over their stolen walkie-talkies? All the time. We do it all the time. Los Tostadas says, we are currently gathering generators for you in Finland. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We all do. Do you want to eat bird milk? We have those like a dessert. I don't know why it's called this way, but it's in Russian language, and I think it's called different in Ukrainian. Actually, I don't really like this dessert, but in Russian it's called птичье молоко, which is bird's milk, and it's like white substance covered with chocolate. Don't really like it, and I don't advise to try. Ukraine Matters says meow. Meow to you too, buddy. And I hope you guys subscribed to Ukraine Matters as well, because it's an awesome channel. Do you also do the Russian accent over the Russian walkie-talkies? It's not that hard. Russian accent, there's like different Russian accents, okay? There's this posh Russian accent they use in cities like Moscow, for example. It sounds like this: как погодка-то в Москве. You know, they stretch those O and R, and then there's accent from Glubinka, which is like rural areas. Мы то приехали повоевать, то здесь. You know, sounds a bit different again. And let me think. There's a lot of them. Yeah, but they are not too hard to mimic, actually. Because even if you try to mock them, it still sounds legit for some reason. It's like the Brits and their posh accent from the BBC. Yeah, absolutely. Ptasze mleczko, says Robert Tomaszewski. Ptasze mleczko. I didn't know that you have that in Poland as well. Bird's milk, marshmallows covered with chocolate. I don't know if those are marshmallows. Actually, I think it's like a bit different, different substance. It's similar, but different. Do you have a radio license? Me personally, no. I don't. I don't need if I need. I don't know if I need it. How much Ukrainian can Russian understand? From Jacob. So if it's like some of those Western dialects of Ukrainian language, some of Central Ukrainians cannot really understand what they're talking about, because it's like, again, it's like in Britain. It's like there's this posh British English, then there's like Cockney, and it's hard. I think like a lot of English speakers, native English speakers, don't really understand Cockney. That's what I heard, anyways. And generally, from what I know, Russians don't really understand Ukrainian language, like 80% of it, for some reason. For all other Slavic people, like Belarusians, Ukrainians, Polish even, it's more or less easy to understand Russian. Ukrainians, of course, understand Russian because we were forced to learn it. But Russians don't really care about learning other languages. That's why they don't really understand what we're talking about. um, which is great. The dessert with chocolate you're talking about is egg white with sugar and water. That, yeah, probably that one, because it doesn't really taste like marshmallow. Marshmallow tastes better, actually. I have no idea what's going on. What's the joke about bird poop in a berry patch? I don't think I know what you're talking about. Has your dog gotten you a date yet? It will be tough because just because uh, uh, I was married to a radical narcissist, and after my divorce, I don't really think I am ready for this yet. Um, I simply love Ptasha Miweczko, and I have a box of a vanilla one at home right now. Magdalena. That sounds nice. I have a huge plate of milk chocolate that my mother sent me from Australia, and I think I will eliminate it tonight. Uh, do you have any plans or thoughts for a different life after the war? Of course, everybody does, and I will travel and do something useful. Does your mom speak Australian? She learns English. Not sure about Australian. She learns English. Tell Brandon to lay off the sausage. Hmm. Actually, we were talking to Brandon just like a couple of minutes ago, and yeah, he sent me a screenshot of that scammer. Again, guys, remember about scammers. Um, oh, question from Ukraine Matters. Do you like Kiev cake? Because my wife says it sucks, but I kinda enjoy it. I don't really like Kiev cake. It tastes kinda special. It has some specific flavor which makes it special. Okay, but I'm not a fan. I prefer like chocolate cakes. We have Pražský tort, Prague cake. In Ukraine, it's very popular. It's like chocolate and Let me show it to you, because, you know, I can explain a lot of things, but it's always better to show. And also tell me if you have that in your country. Yeah, so this is what we call Pražský tort, or the Prague cake, named after the city of Prague. This is my favorite one because it's chocolate. It contains a lot of cream, and my favorite one is the one with cherry cream and chocolate, and it's fantastic. You gotta try it. Microbay Studio says in southern Maryland, I think, Maryland, we have Smith Island cake. How does it look like? Smith Island cake. I gotta see. I hope you don't mind. Smith Island cake. Like that one? Oh, this one looks awesome. Guys, check this. Oh, damn it. Check this out. Huge chocolate cake with biscuits and chocolate cream. Yeah, I would try this one. I would settle in the area where they make such cakes. I swear. Looks nice. Absolutely. Donna Olson, hi from the 90210. Beverly Hills. Always nice to see you here. Are you a foodie? I think so. I was turned into one because currently this is the only thing that brings me joy, aside of seeing you people. Did you notice that Switzerland lately permits re-export of ammunition for Leopard tanks and infantry fighting vehicles? Yes, I noticed that. Sweaty Chungus, does it come with free insulin? I don't know. I was eating sweets for 37 years and I'm still fine. Commander 401, hello buddy. Nice to see you in the chat as well. Why are we talking about cake? Liam, I don't really know. It just happens like this. Every time we talk, every time we end up talking about food. I think it's because, like, you know, this is something that is uniting everybody. Some good food, places to visit, meals to eat, desserts to enjoy, things like that. It's something that brings us together, I think. Jean Koya says, Starsky, hello from Phoenix, Arizona. Hello, hello. Reed Echo. Good evening, operator. Starsky, do you mind me asking, can you fly drones? I tried. The only thing I fly well is my airplane in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I tried flying drones, and actually, yeah, I can do that. I didn't wreck any of them yet. Uh, Dump Trumps asks, do you like chilies and spicy hot foods? Yes, I do. Except for hot KFC wings. I mean, I love them, but I don't buy them often because they have this strange effect, We were talking about it, I think. Like next day you will regret about eating them. And it only works with KFC hot wings. Chuck says Microsoft Flight Sim is awesome. It's not just awesome, it's fantastic. Russell says, do you enjoy fishing? I really do. And I never caught anything except for 2 times. Nothing to be proud about. But before the invasion, I had an inflatable boat. I would take my equipment and just sail along the river and trying to, catch anything. And sometimes I would go fishing with my friends. Again, never caught anything. But I have spent a lot of money on fishing equipment. What would you choose as your last meal? I would totally choose sushi for starter, main, and dessert. And the question from Russell was, do you enjoy fishing? I enjoy just being outside or spending time with my friends. Because I never caught anything, I freaking hate fishing. Because every time we go outside, to some distant area and try to catch anything, I become very, very upset, usually. Greek pizza is awesome. Roger that. Let's see. Greek pizza. Aha. So, in the cuisine of the United States, Greek pizza is a style of pizza crust and preparation where the pizza is proofed and cooked in a metal pan. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, this is Greek pizza. And I can tell already that it comes with a lot of pepper. Does it? Yes, it does. Not bad, not bad. Here in Ukraine, we have this Domino's pizza, famous worldwide, and in Domino's pizza we have a special pizza with 5 cheeses, and there's no such pizza anywhere else. Five cheeses. Do you have lobsters near you? Do you like it? I tried lobsters, and I don't think we have any near us. We only have a sea, and the sea is not too rich of lobsters, let's say. Check out images of Possum Kingdom Lake in Texas. Okay. Challenge accepted. let's do this, because why not? Possum Kingdom Lake, Texas. Wow. Looks nice. And this, by the way, reminds me, this specific picture reminds me of Hortica Island in Zaporizhia. And just to compare, this is, oh no, let me find one, because when you look at this island from Zaporizhia itself, from the city of Zaporizhia, it looks very, very similar. Like this one in Zaporizhia and this one in Texas. Yeah. Gonna check it out next time I'm in Texas, I swear. Have you heard of Baby Metal? Yes, I did. They are awesome. Have you seen the video of the Leopard 2 with the beer glass on the barrel? Yes, I did, and we made exactly the same video with, I think, T-72, Ukrainian T-72, a couple of years ago. I think you can find it on YouTube. Wales says, no, you don't have access to much lobsters in your waters, but I hear a growing number of Russian ships. Oh yeah. Especially one big called Moscow. What's your favorite weapon that was sent to Ukraine? Nothing I can talk about because I didn't really try anything. Anything that was sent to Ukraine. My guys used a lot of javelins, and they say they're awesome. Is it true there are radioactive giant mutant catfish in the cooling pond at Chernobyl? Just Dustin, it's true. I saw them with my eyes. Last time I've been to Chernobyl together with my guys. I saw them there, and they're huge. And I think they can live for like hundreds of years, something like that. Like, they are enormous. They're the size of a horse. Bavarian beer on the barrel. It wasn't Bavarian beer. I think it was like our local beer. Olaf Nilsson, wife. What you're watching? Me, that Ukrainian information officer guy. Wife. What's new now? Me, mostly pizza talk. That's what we do. Do the Russians have anything like the Javelin? Nothing I can remember. You see, the difference between Russian terrorists and the rest of the world is that rest of the world decides that they need some modern sophisticated weapons. They invest money into research. They find something that works, and they invest money and produce and arm those NATO units around the world. In Russia, they create a project, steal a lot of money, buy good cars, houses, and villas in other countries, of course, because it's good to have a villa in Italy rather than in Russia, of course. And then they make numerous documentaries on the Russian TV about fantastic weapons that were created involving alien technologies. And of course, Americans have nothing like that. And and of course, those weapons are only good in hands of Orthodox Russian warriors. Трепещи Запад and things like that. That's the difference, basically. They have Cornet, but I wouldn't say that it's similar to Javelin. Username says, I'm going to get my puppy dog in 2 weeks. How should I name her? It's a female. I think we gotta ask people in the chat. I think they will come up with a good name. FF1073 says no analogs. Yeah, that's how they call it. No analogs. Do you like escargots? I love them in garlic oil. What are those? Let me see. Yeah, they're not bad. Not far from my old location, there was a huge seafood store with all kinds of fish and those ones. They are not bad. With garlic oil specifically, garlic sauce. Karma is a good female dog name. Ink Boy, I completely agree with you. Matthew Schumacher says, I love your cover pic for the YouTube ad. Yeah, we all like cats. Have you been to the US, Starsky? Yes, Jeff. I've been to Washington, D.C. in 2008. Best shawarma in Kiev. Vlad, best shawarma in Kiev can be found near Akadem Mistechko subway station. They serve the hottest shawarma in Kiev. It's so hot, so you're risking of burning your pants in the rear. I checked. Beertastic says, when your state propaganda is chilling and talking about the pizzas of the world, I think you're on the winning side. It's because we don't do propaganda. We do public relations, honestly. Have any alien ships were been spotted during this war around nuclear plants? I think Russians saw some. Because when you drink, you see all kinds of stuff. That's why I think they saw at least some of those. Tomasz says the enforcer asked presidential office for interview with President Zelensky. I'm curious what answer he get. I'm really, really hopeful that he is gonna receive a positive answer, but I'm more than sure that President Zelensky is very, very busy. Sean asks, hey Starsky, how's the populace dealing with the power shortage? So we have scheduled blackout right now. Currently, I know that we started importing power from Europe, and we don't have as long shortages as previously. Now we have regular blackouts that are scheduled, and you can go online and find your city and the schedule of those planned blackouts. There's some amount of power that can be spent on a daily basis, like let's say 900 megawatts per region, per oblast, for example, just for example, okay? And if we're spending more than that, then we have longer shortages in a couple of days. Works something like this. But currently we have regular blackouts. They are not long. They are not long enough to, for the food in the fridge to get spoiled, for example. Like couple hours, and that's all. Are you going to be supporting Usyk? Detective Lopez, I think that I don't have other choice. Danielle asks, do you have any free time to work on your music? Any new songs? Unfortunately, I had zero time to work on my music. Actually, I was working on some song, on two of those. I couldn't finish the first one, and the other one is unfortunately not for me. Okay, it will be in Ukrainian. Hopefully, it will be very popular here. But I'm writing it for another person. Oh yeah, Hicksont says, it's true that hackers made it so that Zelensky's speech is shown on every channel of Russia TV for his birthday. So somehow it happened that president's speech was shown in Belgorod, in Crimea, and in several Russian cities. And yeah, it was a big surprise for the Russian people. What's your thoughts on the no beard policy that Russia has brought in? My thoughts, well, it's like Russia has a lot of unnecessary and stupid things in their legislation, specifically military legislation, that didn't change much since 1947. And I don't think that it will change a lot, but it just shows that instead of dealing with like real problems, they produce more problems. In Ukrainian army, it's not a problem at all, and when you're in a combat zone, you can have whatever you want. Beard, mustache, anything. Usyk may just beat Fury. I doubt that, because, even despite the fact that Usyk is very, very talented person, not like that. Even despite the fact that Usyk has so many skills and so much experience, but Fury is very, very talented. And there's a big difference between people who are talented and people who train all their life. So it's not clear to me. I don't think that Usyk will definitely lose, but I think there's a chance that he will. What do you think about college music? I'm not a big fan, actually. You would look great in a cowboy hat. I can try. How do you find Sergei Stranenko? Personally, politics aside, he's doing a lot of good right now, like yourself. Sergei Stranenko has a huge channel, he has a huge audience, and what I can tell about him is that he was attacked by a pro-Russian bastard, and this individual tried to kill him. Instead, Stranenko fought back, and it so happened that the attacker got improved. And because of that, several pro-Russian forces in Ukraine tried to sue him, to sue Stranenko. And I'm happy that he's free. That's my position, because you have a right to protect yourself. Pani Lohinska says, I'm sitting on my hands here. There's a good joke about beards, but YouTube would block me probably. No beards, preparing for use of gas masks. That was my first thought about it. John Husky, is operator Starsky already dating a woman with cats? I think if there's a woman with cats, your relationship will not work. Because she has cats, a lot of cats, and that's the reason why she's single. It's my personal opinion, not trying to abuse anybody, but it's my personal opinion. Because she fails in dating, she has a lot of cats. And it works both ways, because if she has a lot of cats, this means that she has problems in dating. You could try, but you will face a lot of challenges. Grant Johnston, Starsky, are you at all a fan of cosmology? Cosmology? What is cosmology? a branch of astronomy that involves the origin and evolution of the universe from the Big Bang to today and on into the future. I am. Oh, yeah. I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels. There's this female astronomer. I think her channel is called something like that. And basically, yeah, I have a lot of those among my subscriptions. I'm not a flat earther. That's something that I can tell. Jules, have a great day. Starsky, so sorry I have to leave your live chat. Keep safe. Was it after all that I said about women with cats? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. Have a great day and be safe as well. Sean asks, sorry to repeat my question, Starsky, but in your opinion, do you think NATO countries are training UA soldiers on platforms before announcing them? That would be wise. And personally, that's exactly what I would do. Because, when you announce something like a bunch of tanks to be sent to Ukraine and it will take exactly 2 months, 1 week, 3 days, and 14 hours for personnel to train, and then it's gonna take another 2 days and 5 hours to deliver them to those and those positions. It's kind of silly. So that's exactly what I would do, and probably this is how it happens, actually. Daryl asks, Starsky, what about a woman with a leopard? I think if there's a woman with a leopard, you can just go and marry her straight away. Mark, Operator Starsky, do you like the band Ginger and Tatiana's voice? I think that she's very, very talented and probably even genius. She has great vocals, great clean vocals, and great fry scream, and I absolutely enjoy listening to her. I've been to one of her concerts, and I think I was like in a mosh pit. Not sure if it was there where I broke my rib twice, but yeah, it was so cool. New findings about the Big Bang Theory, though. I still believe in the Big Bang Theory. Three cats and one dog here. Oh my god. When another live stream with Anna from Ukraine? Let Anna have some rest, and hopefully maybe next week, if you want, we can do that. But first I gotta check if my bandwidth will be enough, because again, I'm streaming through Starlink, and my upload speed is something between 5 and 9 megabits per second usually. That's why we gotta check out first if it works. Okay, do you like poetry, and if so, who is your favorite? Byron. Oh yeah, and my favorite poem is The Gloom. You gotta check it out. also known as darkness, I think. Yeah, because in Ukrainian translation it was like the gloom. And why I like this poem is because it's 100% metal. You can use it as lyrics for some metalcore song easily. Even deathcore, probably, yeah. Steve Serenchko, I have had no issues with your feed here in Odessa. Odessa, Ukrainian one, or which one? There's a lot of Odessa cities actually. But sometimes I lag. I notice that sometimes my video lags, but my sound continues as it should. Have you read The Bards of Wales? I really advise checking out Cardiff Castle, The Bards of Wales. I will remember that. I promise. Garth asks, do you think US support will diminish after Biden is impeached? I don't think so, actually. Kim asks, what is the average day of our favorite press officer like? It's like you wake up very early, you stuff yourself with food on the go because you don't really have time to do that, but you know that you gotta eat. And you always gotta remember to drink creatine in the morning because it's important. And then you go to job. While there in the morning, you gotta monitor a lot of stuff, and then you have briefing, and then you receive tasks, and then you gotta do those tasks, and they take a lot of time. Some of them take days to accomplish. But at the same time, you remember that there's a lot of viewers that want to hear some news, not only those mainstream news, but probably something interesting. And I'm trying to find something that you might like, and something that explains about things that happen, about Ruski Mir, about Ukraine, and things like that. Then, why creatine? It's because I do like bodybuilding. I started a couple of months ago. And actually, it's not bad for boxing as well. So, yeah, and then 10 p.m. you start your stream. Before that, you gotta compile all the information that you found. You start your stream. Before that, you drop a cup of coffee into you, and you have 2 hours of a very, very good time together with you guys. How much is Bogdan weight nowadays? So he's kind of round. The last time I saw him, and I think that soon you will see him as well, he had like a round face because after a period of, let's say, starvation, people usually gain weight very, very fast. So that's exactly what happened. And Bogdan said that he's risking of growing a belly already. So yeah, he's kind of round. Donna says the mosh pit was a dangerous place on the floor back in the early 80s days of punk. It's still kind of dangerous place. I broke my rib twice in a mosh pit, but I survived, which is great. Greetings, Operator Starsky. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. Mountain Girl says, Operator Starsky, the real reason you don't want to date a woman with cats is Fudge hates them and you covering for him. Actually, Fudge doesn't hate cats. He's very, very calm and he doesn't react to cats at all. I adopted Fudge from a pet shelter, and this pet shelter was located at horse stables. And at those horse stables, there were all kinds of animals, including cats. So when I arrived, I was met by big crowd of meowing and barking animals that were approaching me all together. And there were dogs, there were cats. Dogs started licking my hands. Cats jumped all over me. And yeah, I picked Fudge, of course, because I saw him on internet. I saw his pictures. He was the most ginger dog among them, and so I decided to pick Fudge. And this lady from the pet shelter, she said, can you take a cat with you? And the cats were sitting on me, like everywhere, on my head, on my shoulders, meowing. And my heart was like crumbling and tearing apart. And I said, I will start with Fudge and then I will see. But the other day I've heard a cat meowing not far from my house. Probably I gotta go and find him because I didn't see specifically where he was, the cat, or she, I don't know. Just Nila, I adopted a cat last week. Oh, right. That's great. What is Ukraine doing to keep the morale of the troops up? Winning the war is the biggest morale boost. Because we know that if we lose, we die. This is our biggest motivation, basically. Any news about the raccoon? I don't think so. But there were news. Remember that white dog that was stolen by Kadyrovites in Mariupol and brought to Kadyrov? And he was so bragging about this dog and stuff. So it was returned back to its owners. I think you could probably hear about it, but if not, that's truth. Benjamin says it's important not to adopt more than you can manage. That's true. Ross, why had India been so hesitant to help Ukraine? Because India is trading with Russia. India is buying Russian oil for low price and stuff like that. Generally speaking, they don't really like what happens right now, but they cannot do a lot. Swordney, greetings Operator Starsky. This video image is a hint your unit is getting one of those German kitty cats. I really hope we do. I know that we're getting something. I will tell you when it's here. Even more than that, I will make a very, very good video about it. But it's a secret yet. Do you think we will see remote-controlled vehicles with explosives targeting orcs? That's something from like World War II, but still effective. And actually it could be, because we already had like kamikaze drones, kamikaze sea drones, and the only thing that's left to see is like remotely controlled kamikaze vehicles. That would be awesome. Mika says, last I read was that India is demanding 25% discount on Russian oil, and I'm sure that they will receive this discount one way or another. Banhar says, they gave Russian passport to that raccoon. Now raccoon can travel visa-free to Eswati and to North Korea as well, of course. Martin says, seriously, India will experience some karma also. At some point, this behavior will backlash. As we all saw, as we all had a chance to see, karma always works. Karma always works. So I think that this war in Ukraine is basically like an exam, not only for Ukrainians, but already for, but also for everybody else, for all the countries, all the people, all the democratic societies. It's like a big test, and it only depends if we pass the test or if we fail it. And some countries don't really look good passing this test. Wasn't Amazon working on drones that would deliver packages? Not only them. I think there are already drones that like deliver pizza and stuff. So yeah, they can be used as well to deliver different surprises to our Russian friends. Is India or Pakistan giving Ukraine any rockets or any weapons? I've heard about some aid from Pakistan. Wait a second, I gotta check it out, because I think I did. So Pakistan sent humanitarian aid to help the people of Ukraine affected by Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Pakistan Air Force C-130 Hercules aircraft were flown to Poland, where the aid was dispatched to help Ukrainian civilians. Pakistan also supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. So that's the answer. And Pakistan had sent 15 tons of humanitarian assistance for the people of Ukraine on 15th of March 2022. A lot of countries send humanitarian aid that is also very, very important. Not weapons, but humanitarian aid. Morocco were sending tanks. That's what I remember. And probably that is the we lost power again. Anyways, probably that is the answer to your question why India doesn't help Ukraine much. Could be. Greetings from the US. How are you? I'm feeling great. I need coffee, but I'm having a great time with my friends from all around the world. And I hope that so are you. Have you seen Boston Dynamic robot dogs? The first time I saw them, and it was like many years ago, I was freaking terrified because it moved like a living being, you know. So it shouldn't even have like explosives attached to it. It can just walk around Russian trenches and they will probably run away. Um, oh, that's an interesting information from Wizard of Oz. Uh, Pakistan is planning to ship 159 containers of ammunition meant for Ukraine from the Karachi port to Gdansk in Poland in the second half of January, including 155mm shells. Uh, this is very interesting because I didn't know that Pakistan has 155mm shells, but now I do. Oh, in our local pizza shop in Israel, they have 5 cheese pizza, and it's not Domino's. What kind of cheeses do they have there? Can you please message this in the chat? Ukraine needs Boston Dynamics super soldiers. Time to deploy T-1000s. Oh yeah. I mean, Mr. Schwarzenegger already said that he supports Ukraine, so. Stuart says, hi mate, I just crawled out of bed, but day from Australia, Queensland. Much love to Australia, buddy. April, hello from Canada. Hello from Hostomel. Yeah. Pakistan's current main SPG is the M109, hence the 155mm. Yeah. Thank you for the information. I didn't know that. Arnold was a tanker, and that's true, by the way. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was a tanker. When he became famous and rich, I think he bought his tank. Like, he literally went to Austria. He found the tank that he was driving. and he, I think he brought it to the U.S. Do you know the photographer Andrei Andrienko by any chance? I don't think so. Maybe not in, like, not in person. What do you think about Steven Seagal? He's a true Russian supporter. I think because Steven Seagal was always a big piece of shit. That's why his choice of supporting Russians was kind of obvious. That is what I think about Steven Seagal. Mig29 says, no 4-cheese pizza. What is the fifth? Okay, let me show you this. Let me see. Domino's UA. Oh no. Oh my god. I got something in my eye. I feel like dying. Okay, pizza. And this is Ukrainian pizza. Yes, let's say we are in Kiev. Pizza, 5 cheeses. And it's literally my favorite one. I always order it when I can. Oh, here it is. Okay, yes, I'm in Kiev. Yeah. Pizza. So, feta, burgher blue, mozzarella, parmesan, and cheddar. 5 cheeses and Alfredo sauce. And if you want to, like, if you want to make it even more special, you can add some pepperoni, but it tastes great without pepperoni. Asiago Romano Parmesan Mozzarella Provolone. Mike Newman asks a rhetorical question. Should pineapple be on pizza? I think this can exist, okay? And I don't mind against Hawaiian pizza at all. Actually, I find it kind of interesting and exotic. But some people say that it's, how you call it, non-humane, something like this. Does Domino's still deliver under Russian fire? Yes, they do. Everybody does. Believe me. Oh my god. Guys, I am so hungry now. Okay, I will be finishing the stream. Thank you so much for our conversation, and I hope that you enjoyed today's news as much as I did. I believe that we still have the air alert, and I believe that we can expect Russian drones already now, if they still exist. So, okay, I will just run away and have a dinner and a coffee, and I hope that you had a great time tonight. Thank you so much for staying with me. Thank you so much for supporting Ukraine, because this is a proper thing to do. My name is Operator Starsky. See you later, friends.